Okay, all right, so for you guys, since last time we started with the so for you guys, we started with the lecture 2, which we didn't complete. So I hope we looked at MATLAB comments. So where it says Python does not really have syntax for MATLAB comments. So to add MATLAB comment, you would insert a hash for each line. But let me just take an example here. So I'm going to open, for example, in my case, I'm using Spider. So let me just check in Spider. I'm using Spider as an ID, just the same as the Python Python integrated development language environment. Alright, so I'm going to give an example here. Since our slides are saying that we don't have MATLAB comment, so look at this one. This is MATLAB comment. So for example, if I press print, I don't see anything being printed here. But now if I type, so if I type a print statement here, then I say hello world, so that is what I get. So the moment I press this one and I print, I get this one. Now I get this result. When I put the hash symbol here, nothing is going to be printed here when I run the program. So now, for instance, if we have got several print statement, say for example, this one will be print my farm. The next one, so my car. I'm going to run the program. It gives me these two results, 2 lines of text. So if I want to comment all this, what I can do, I'll simply press 3 of these, and also down here I'll have to type 3 of these. So this one is a MATLAB comment, though Python says there is nothing like that, but there's a purpose for using this particular MATLAB. Or else, if I don't use the double quotes, I can even use the single quote. So let me just try. So I can use the single quote. Sorry, it also works. So if I print out, nothing displays here. Let me take you back. So now let's talk about the variables. So variables are container for storing data values. Python has no command for declaring a variable. A variable is created the moment you first assign a value to it. For example, I've got x. We have x. So this is x equals to 5, y is equals to Johnny. So when we print x and y, we'll get 5 and Johnny. So variables do not need to be declared with a particular type, and can even change type after they have been set. So the type that I'm talking about is already explained. We have got different data types. So in our case, we have got integers, we have got floats, we have got double, we have got strings, we have got arrays, and so on, and many more. We can also find out the type of the value that you have assigned to a particular variable. So for instance, if you type print type x, it gives us the result that this is an int type. For this one, it will tell us that it is a string, so it usually types str. So let me give you an example of that. So for instance, we've got x is equal to 8, then we've got y equals to William Now if I say print x, and also print y. So when I line the program, it's going to give me 8 here, 8 and William. If I want to find out their type, what I'll do, I'm going to use the function type. So this is the function that I'm going to type. I'm going to write. So if I simply say type x, is not going to display anything. So for instance, if I say type, nothing is going to be displayed apart from the print statement that I've declared. So the type has to be printed. So I'm going to put these ones, this function in the print functions, print, then I'm going to paste it there. So the same thing applies to y, to be print, then paste it there. I should simply change the y value variable. So if I print that one, it says x is of class int, which is integer, y is of class string, str, which is a string. Let me take you back to the slides. So the other part that we have to look at is naming variables. So when we're talking about naming variables, you can name a variable with the whatever you want. So in our case, we should make sure that we name our variables which are descriptive. For example, if you want a variable which is going to keep the age of a person, make sure that it describes that whatever you're going to store or to keep is the age of the person. For instance, the variable could be age. But now for this one, if we say a is equal to 4, a is equal to Sari, right? Okay, what I'm referring to here is that so when you are naming variables, you should make sure that they're descriptive. For the age should be age. For the car name, if you is going to store the car name, really you have to give it the car name variable and then the name of the car. In this case, maybe you just want to find the total volume, make sure that what you want to store is of the total volume, and so on. Another thing of naming variables, rules which appear, which actually are there in naming variables, is about case sensitivity. So variables in Python, they're very sensitive. So what it means, they are very case sensitive. So what it means is that if I declare a is equal to 4, and here I've got capital letter A, these are two different variables. So a cannot override a because they are two different entities in that case. So there are two different entities. So you have to try that one out. Naming variables must start with a letter or underscore character. So a variable name cannot start with a number. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. So this is what it means. Variables names are case sensitive. So age, this age, so sorry, just a moment. So this age, and this age, there are three different variables. They're not the same. So here are good examples of legal variable names. So these are the examples. So you can they're saying a variable name could have only small letters. That's fine. A variable name can have an underscore in between. So you can use this one if you know that your variable is going to have two words. For example, I would say second name. If I say second name, it means now second, then in between there will be an underscore. And also this one, a variable name can start with an underscore and you put whatever you want. And also a variable name can follow what we call camel case, whereby the first letter of the word will start with an M and the middle letter of a particular word, because here there are just two words which have been combined, so it will have a capital letter. You can have your variables to be capital letters only. You can have a variable that could be appended with a number, but make sure that it doesn't start with a number. That is a wrong variable. So these that are written here examples of what I have said. For example, my variable name, that's it, my variable name John, and so on. So these are two. There are three different. These are three different variable names. I mean, yeah, the way you can name them. So I've got the camel case where I said that each and every word which is within the variable word, it has to start with a capital letter, except the first letter of the first word, which is M here. Pascal case, it means each and every letter of the word will start with a capital letter. For snake case, so the two words can be divided by an underscore, or three words can be divided by an underscore. Alright. Output variables. So we have got the Python print statement, which is often used to output variables. To combine both text and variable, Python uses the plus character. But you should make sure that when you're using the plus character, that means you are concatenating the two values. So in our case, we have got x equals to awesome. Then we are saying print Python is dash. So Python is plus x. So it means now what is going to be printed here, which is going to be placed here, to be awesome. And to make a space between is and this word, you should make sure within the word which has been quoted, you have to put a space here so that it has to appear in it, that it should also have a space. But if this one was a number and you concatenate with a number, it will give you an error. You can also use the plus character to add a variable to another variable. So you can add a variable to another variable, just as it appears here. We're saying Python is awesome is. So we're simply picking these two numbers. Now you should also check here the space has been applied. Make sure that when you combine these two words, is and awesome, they must be okay. When you combine these two variables, is and awesome, between is and awesome there must be a space. You can also do multiple assignments as it appears here, x, y, z, orange, banana, and cherry. Yeah, so what it means is that the order that we have given here, it will also be the order as it appears here. So I've got x stores the value of orange, y stores the value of banana, z stores the value of cherry. When I print x, is going to give me banana or orange. When I print y, is going to give me banana. When I print z, is going to give me cherry. One value to multiple values. So what it means is here, multiple values can be assigned by one value. So here we are saying that x is equal to y equals to z. Then so just the same as, first of all, we have assigned z to orange. Orange has been given the value orange. So okay, z has been given the value orange. Hence, y has been given the value of z, of which it is orange. Since now y has been assigned to z, which its value is orange, then x, which has been assigned y, it will also have the word orange. You can in terms of multiple assignments, you can simply put your values in a list. But the first thing that you have to do, you have to declare fruits. Now you can see that this particular variable is keeping multiple values. We have got apple, banana, and cherry. Then what happens is that if I put x, y, z, now it is going to be unpacked. We call it unpacking, meaning that apple will be assigned to x, banana will be assigned to y, cherry will be assigned to z. So the moment I print all these variables, so these are the ones which are going to come out according to the order as it has been arranged here. For numbers, the plus character works as a mathematical operator. That means you are going to add two numbers. For example, if you say x equals to 5, y equals 10, when you print x plus y, it's going to give us 15. But what you have to note is that if you try to combine a string and a number, you are going to get an error. It's going to be interpreted as something else. Now in Python, we have got keywords, of which you should in your life never use these keywords which has been put here, but you can find out more about the keywords. I think there is what yeah, okay, all right, we'll go to that. So some of the keywords in Python as follows. We've got end, as, asset, break, if, import, in, is. We are going to discuss the function of all these if statement as we in our next lectures, in the upcoming lectures. Now, these are not the only keywords in Python. To find out more, what you have to do, you must in your idle, you have to import keyword, then ask it to print the keywords which are in Python. So you can either even add this one, but this doesn't matter. But this is the one which is going to be printed. So what they're telling us is that we are going to import the class, which is keyword. So inside the class keyword, there is a method which has got a list of the keywords that have to be applied in Python, in our program that we are writing in Python. So the next thing, so these are the syntax error. So since you have already done LAM1, I think you understand what I'm talking about. All right, there's a name error. So less when a variable is not found in the local or global scope. So if you call a variable which is not found, is going to give you the error known as name error. All right, for instance, let me give an example. For instance, I say we don't have x. I remove this x and I say print. You see, it is saying this is what name error. When you look at this one, name error, name x is not defined, so we have not defined the name error. When you come to this part, it indicates the line which is which has called the x which doesn't exist. When we go here, okay, since I'm using spider, so these are the lines, number lines that have been given. Now in the case that this is number 17, there's something wrong here, meaning that this is a name error. The used variable is not defined. So that's what they're talking about when we come here, name error and so on. Try to print a single statement and so on, single way, declaring variables out. How else? It may also happen that you have declared a variable, but now the spelling that you have declared as a variable and you are trying to call it. So when you call it using the name, I mean, if any of the letters is missing that way that you have used to call it, it will give you a name error because it hasn't been initially declared in Python. Another thing is that we have got the type error. So this particular type error is raised when a function or operation is applied on an object of an incorrect type. For example, using plus addition operator on a string and an integer value will raise a type a type error. So this means that all unsupported variable, types or types, data types which are not supported, that cannot be concatenated, they are going to give us an error. So which is not a type error. Unsupported operation between two data types. So those are the causes: calling an uncallable identifier, incorrect type of list index. So that's it. Now what about indentation error? So if we're saying indentation error, it means now we are moving one step to the right. That is an indentation. So we usually use a tab. It's there on the computer that you can use if you press once, that is accepted indentation. Alright, so the indentation error can occur when the spaces or tabs are not placed properly. So when you are just starting writing a program and you make a space at the beginning, it's going to give you an error. Or it happens that within the error, if you're writing if statements, conditional statements, and the body of the statement has to be somewhere indented, yes, and also some other partners. yeah, sorry. And also when you are writing functions, so the body of the function has to be indented. Or if it happens, yeah, so as it states here, so in an if statement, in a for loop or while statement, and so on, we're going to learn all these things as we go. Then we have got logical errors, also called semantic error. So logical errors cause the program to behave incorrectly, but they do not usually crash the program. So the program cannot crash. For example, if you want to find the average, you have to look at the the operation order. So which one begins first? For example, if you're adding two numbers, then they have to subtract and so on. So you have got three operators, plus and minus, then you have got you have got two operators, you have got plus and minus, then you have got three operands. So these operands, if you so between the two, which one has to start? So usually when you're using the operators which are of the same level, what happens is that it gives you the precedence of starting from the left. So if you have got 5 plus 7 minus 1, so the plus symbol has to be used on the first two numbers, then the result will be used on the minus symbol, whereby we're going to subtract 1 from the result. Now in this case there's a problem here, as you can see. So if we want to find the result, or else the average, if you say x plus y divided by 2, so in this case what is going to start is the division, then finally is going to put the, and yet we want to find the average. So logically this is wrong, and so on. So logically that is wrong. Yeah, so our lecture ends here.